Welcome back to the channel, and as you can see on my left, I have the one and only star player joining me this week.
Appreciate it.
We're going to do a little bit of a Prem review with two specific games, of course. Obviously, we're going to do the Arsenal City, which just happened a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
And then we'll also do the Man United Chelsea from yesterday. So obviously, we're going to start off with what's fresh in our minds right now. Obviously, just coming off the Arsenal City game, ending in 1-1. Early goal from Haaland in the opening 10 minutes. And then an equaliser late into the game from the super sub, currently on fire off the bench.
I don't know what's happened.
Martinelli. Yeah, what's your thoughts? So, like, what's your thoughts right now? Like, how are you feeling?
I feel sorry for Pep.
Yeah?
As weird as it sounds.
That's crazy.
Like,
that's what you're starting
yeah,
with.
I feel sorry for Pep because I think we both know Man City going into the game, they probably wanted to take the draw. I didn't think they came here to win. So, and then them leaving, like similar to what happened last year with the John Stones, where you'll go there for a draw, but you're happy you've come. Like, now you're upset that you've left for the draw because you only had like 4 minutes. But on the other side, I think Arteta got this completely wrong. That's the best way to put it. I think you've alluded to it as well. I think in regards to Arteta, whenever it's, I wouldn't even say, as mad as I wouldn't even say a big game. I'll just say teams that are inferior. So like PSG last year, like you said, City today, Liverpool at Anfield. Whenever Arteta is the underdog or whatever situation, yes, I feel like when he crumbles, like he'd rather be the manager to like, if we lose, we went over there kind of thing. Like it reminded me a lot of like PSG at home last season in the Champions League where we should have won. We beat them last season 5-1. And then the game was kind of lost before the game started with the lineup that he put out. That's me being honest, bro.
That's where my problem is. Like, obviously, going into this game, I thought Arsenal were the favourites.
Definitely, bro. Definitely, bro.
Just because of the fact that, not only because you have a great squad, but also because of the fact that City are currently, I feel like, even though they beat us last week 3-0, I still feel like this is a weak Man City team.
We both have to rebuild
the
it,
Man
man.
City teams we've seen in the past.
1,000%.
And on top of that, right now, I just think that City team can be got at.
1,000%.
You know what I mean?
We've
And last
Brighton,
season,
bro.
you just said right now, last season you beat them 5-1.
Yep.
You literally
Comfortably as well.
comfortably. You went at them at the Emirates and you beat them 5-1. So I mentioned this to Hassim when we spoke about after Liverpool game. I said, Arteta, if you want to be champions, if you want to get over that line, you need to be brave. As a manager, you need to be brave. You need to be going at teams on the front foot, and you need to let your intentions known that you are here for the taking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like Arteta, again, with this lineup, bro, it looks like to me he's gone conservative again. He's gone with the midfield three of Moreno, Rice, and Zubimendi. Yeah, yes, some people might argue that Moreno's got the license to go a bit more forward. He's more attacking or trying to get the goals, whatever. But when you have players like Eze on the bench, when you've got Saka on the bench, it's not making sense to me. This Man City team, they're weak on the transition.
Facts.
They're weak on the transition. They're quite vulnerable on the transition.
Facts.
You have the weapons, you have the attackers in these wide areas. You got the midfield, you got the creativity to actually hurt them.
Facts.
You hurt them last season at 5-1 when they were a bit when you guys probably didn't have the same level of quality that you have now. So to me, it's just baffling. Arteta, obviously people argued when I said that he's not brave enough. You know, they tried to say, oh, but you're going to Anfield. They used to excuse of going to Anfield and, you know, going to Liverpool is never easy. But today, you're playing against a Man City side that Tottenham have already beaten.
Brighton beat him at
Brighton
Amex.
also. So there's no excuses this time. You are at home.
Yep. 100%.
You want to be the champions.
Facts.
You need to play with that intention. You need to show that intention, not just on the pitch, but from the lineup. Yep. Why Eze's on the bench for me, I don't understand.
Bro, I'm the same with you, bro. Like, not even watching it, going into it, as you said, where they are there to get got at. And the one thing we lacked last season, which he's kind of went into the transfer window was, what's the one thing, in my opinion, that we lacked from last season or even the season before was hitting teams with speed in transition. Teams that like to sit off against us where you can't keep doing the fancy side-to-side football. It's like you said, just one over-the-top pass, get him through whatever situation. You've added in Nani in this situation. You brought in Eze, that's the creative player. You, like you said, you've re-signed Waneri to a new deal, telling him he's going to play the 10, he's going to play the Odegaard position. So Odegaard being out with that shoulder injury is still not trusting him to play big games like this. Why would you re-sign someone like that, if that makes sense? I'm not saying, force him in, but we've got too many attackers now. We've got too many creative players. So going into the game, like you said, they started Kusanov at right back. They started O'Reilly at left back. Get at these fullbacks. But what I've recognised, even as the game was going, however you want to look at it, Arsenal Football Club, it starts, like you said, it starts from Arteta. So if Arteta is playing scared, that's going to trickle down to the players.
Bro,
and you can watch the players yesterday, and you saw this. We're playing side-to-side football. There's times where you can drive with it, but I was saying to Hasib off camera, I was like, I think Arsenal players are more scared to lose that ball than play that risky pass.
100%.
That's why I was...
But that comes from the manager, like you said. That comes from the manager. That's the instructions from the manager,
Facts.
bro. Whatever's going on right now on the pitch is a reflection of the manager.
100%.
You know, and if Arteta's coming in with that conservative mindset, that's naturally going to transcend to the players, bro. And you see it. Even when he made those changes at halftime, which we'll talk about later, you look like a different team second half.
1,000%.
Why? Because you had players that could create those chances. You got players that can make magic happen in any given moment. You got players that are brave on the ball, that would drive with the ball, that would try to make something out of nothing. And that's why you look like such a much better team in that second half. But obviously, before we even get to that point, obviously Haaland this season, I'll be real with you. And another player I got in mind as well, Kylian Mbappe. But those two this season, for me, they're coming back with this sort of, not necessarily redemption, because you know how good of a player. They're still quality players. Even when they have a bad season, their numbers are still decent.
100%.
They're still comparable to anyone else in world football. But this season, both of them, especially Haaland in the Premier League, have come back with this new hunger.
But you know what I think it is? And this is me being honest. Those two, they went from the only two players where people are going, these two will win multiple Ballon d'Ors. They were playing football on a different planet.
Yeah.
And we both know this. To last season, Mbappe getting comparisons to like Turkey. People are going, is like the best striker in the Premier League. Because Haaland dip year was still plus 30 goals, but that's his...
It's crazy the standards. That's crazy the standards we've set.
So
but yeah.
I feel like they've definitely read into it and went, who are you talking about?
Yeah.
I am.
They took it personal, like Michael Jordan.
Mbappe, don't put me in this level with these, man.
Yeah.
We are at different level. So
but even the finish, bro. You know what it is?
Bro, right foot.
It looks very simple.
Yeah.
And the goal looks very simple. 100%. But you know, Haaland, to be able to run at that speed, you see how fast he was running?
Yeah, bro.
To be able to run at that speed and then control the ball on your weak foot.
Yep.
And then slot it in on your weak foot.
Yep.
And not only, I'm not just talking about just running, bro. Like, you got to time your stride.
1,000%.
You got to time that stride perfectly. Obviously, the weight he passed from Rangers was excellent.
Yeah.
But to be able to time that run at such speed on your weak foot, and then control it on your weak foot, and then slot it on.
You know
bro,
what?
It looked natural for him.
You know what it reminded me of? You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of his early days in Dortmund.
Yes.
Because that's the football he was playing. I'm not saying he's always going to be involved in play, but since he's been at Man City, they've basically just told him and said, just make the run, we'll feed you the ball. I don't need you to be involved in any kind of sort. Like even goal, that goal,
he was involved.
He started the play, bro. He's the one that gave it to Reinders.
And then made the run.
And then said, I'm gone.
Yeah.
They're coming from. And
that's where he's
been doing
most
that a lot
dangerous,
last season. Even this season, he's been doing that a lot. He'll get the ball, he'll play a through ball, or he'll just a little intricate pass, he'll make the run, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's been doing that this whole, even the way today, usually, I can't lie, and this is me being honest, the last 3 Arsenal Man City games prior to today, Saliba and Gabriel have done the bully ball thing with him where he's getting into position, they're pushing him off. But today he said, no, the ball's sticking on me. Every time they play the ball high to him or whatever, he's controlled it, he's set off, he laid it off to the player, He's done everything. He held the ball well, passing was great, the way it passing was great. Everything he did today was good. Even what killed me was like the last 20 minutes. He just said, F the striker thing. He played back in position.
Yeah,
he
literally, bro. He was literally
a sweeper.
Yeah, no, 100. And obviously with Haaland, we know what kind of play he is, especially on that. That's. I feel like for me, Haaland, that's where he's most dangerous, on that counter attack.
But do you think, as mad as it sounds, without having the likes of the Kevin De Bruyne's, the creative tens, that it's kind of opened his game up again?
100%. 100% it has. But I just think this is a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. But also, I just feel like the type of football that Man City have been playing this season, I think suits him a little bit more.
Yeah.
They've kind of deviated away from that whole, like, keeping the ball possession. They haven't really been on that type of football this season.
But that's what I like about Pep, though.
Yeah, because he's innovative. He likes to try different things. He'll try different styles. But now, credit to Man City, because I think once they got that early goal, I think they maintained control throughout that first half. You only had one shot on target by half time. You know that, right?
Yeah, bro.
Only one shot on target.
It was the only one I remember. And, bro, it's the same thing again. Like, we don't have a different style of play when we're playing from behind or whatever it is. It's always the side to side, just hoping someone creates one like moment of brilliance. But like you said, when you're handcuffed and you've got your brilliant technicians, 10s, creative midfielders on the bench, like, people are going to give Arteta credit for throwing the kitchen sink, by bringing on the Martinelli, bringing on this guy, bringing on that guy.
It's like,
bro, you can't get rewarded.
You can't get rewarded for something that you should have done from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly.
It don't make sense.
I'm not an Arsenal fan that looks at it as Arteta did a great job. We all know like he didn't.
Yeah. No, of course, look. You look at the time manager, you're thinking, we're talking about the top managers in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're thinking, you know what, these lot are the managers. They probably have a game plan.
Yeah.
You have trust in their game plan.
Yeah.
You're thinking, this is what you get paid to do.
Yeah, 100%.
You're getting paid this much money to do this, so you probably know more than me.
Yeah, 100%.
But then you get to half time now, you haven't given your fans anything.
Yeah. Can't get a crowd going.
You know, so us as fans, we're gonna feel vindicated. Our opinions are gonna be vindicated.
Yeah.
I'm an Arsenal here, loud and proud. I'm an Arsenal here, but even me watching Arsenal sometimes, I'm getting frustrated.
It's like watching
I couldn't even
Pedro,
imagine how you Arsenal fans are feeling. Like,
bro,
mad.
it's you know what it is, yeah? Arteta's given us a taste of champagne football in 22-23. Remember that free flow when we had Granit?
And he's deviated from that.
And he's gone so far away because he's looked at it and went, you know what? We're scoring a lot of goals, but we're conceding a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just assure the backline so that we're going to do the same thing we're doing, but we're going to concede less goals. And we kind of did that going into the season after, as we know, like the other season where Havertz went off. But then since then, it's been really stale. Like, yes, we are dominant. Yes, we hold the ball well. Yeah, our defensive transition is really good. We suffocate teams. Teams can't get on the ball. All this, that. But the one thing that we like you said, is there is no creative ideas. Like I've gotten to the point, bro, where I get annoyed. I find it so boring that we've gone so heavily reliant on set pieces.
Yeah.
Set pieces for me should be an added thing.
It
shouldn't be the main thing.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be the main thing.
Bro.
It's just a nice little part that not other team does well better than us, kind of thing, innit?
Yeah.
But when you're making that your trump card, no, it's no more a trump card. It's our go-to. It's like what happens when, because you know how it is. Certain teams will find out how to stop it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of happened this season. They've added the one big change for them. They've added a Donnarumma where them crosses and stuff, you saw it. He was punching it, he was parrying it, he was doing this. Like, it's
the smartest thing. I criticize the move, but I think it's the smartest thing. Pep
you know
done,
what it does?
He knows. Go on.
It shows the backline. They look behind them and go, I have so much trust in this keeper. Even if I make a mistake, I know he's going to cover me.
Yeah.
Whereas the Trafford and the last season of Edison, they probably looked at it and said, you know what, like,
we're not sure.
Like, if he's through on goal, but yeah.
But also it's smart from Pep, because I think obviously he knows this Man City team are vulnerable.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more shots taken at them. Usually, you know, the past Man City teams, bro, it's very rare that you get 3 or 4 shots at goal.
Fact. Yeah.
You know, some games, teams only get 1 or 2 chances, let alone even 5, 6, 7, 8 shots.
Yeah.
Now he's clocked that this team, they concede too many chances.
Yeah.
So he needs a shot stopper to kind of stop that and avoid those goals going in. So it's smart business, but then it's now forced him to kind of deviate away from the football style that we know Pep always plays, in it. But you know what? Fair play to Pep. You know, he took Arteta's game plan and did reverse Uno on him.
Yeah,
literally, he took his finishing move and took it on him.
Yeah.
So it's it's crazy. It's crazy. I think both managers have moved away from the styles, like completely. Like if you looked at today's game specifically, it's like Arsenal Man City 2 years ago would have been a blockbuster game.
Yeah.
Like in terms of the type of football you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you mentioned earlier that season 22-23, bro. Those type of games, those free flowing football, both teams are trying to outplay each other. Yes, there'll be times maybe you have to sit off with Man City, which is normal because of the amount of attacking talent they had.
Facts.
But now this Man City team, you should not be
scared
or conservative against this Man City team. And I think ultimately that's what got you done. And again, I'm going to say it again. I said it in the video with the Liverpool Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal going to win the league, bro. And it's just simply because of the manager. I just don't think the manager's brave enough. I think you got the players. I think you got the quality to do it. Yeah. But ultimately, I just don't think you have the mentality, and that's not just on the players. I think that goes all the way to the manager, Mikel Arteta himself. Because I think today's result, you lot not getting 3 points, is solely on him. Yeah. I don't think it's on the players. I don't even want to get onto the players because I just generally think
I think it's 60-40. Me being honest,
I'll say less than that. Maybe say 65-35. I'm going 65 on Arteta, the other 35 on the players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like for me, 60-40. I think the players, they played scared. You can tell as well when you're watching. Like it's the weirdest thing. It's like they fake wanted the ball. Like they want the ball, but then once they get it, they don't know what to do with it. And then there's another player that's asking for the ball, demanding the ball. They get that, they're looking, and it just kept doing it. It just kept going into that position where I'm like, play like even like last week when Calafiori played the ball over to Eze and then Gyökeres was through. Mix it up, but I feel like they're all so like they're all wired to play the way that Arteta wants them to play, and I understand that. But there's certain games where tactics go off, especially when you're losing. Tactics go off, especially and also with them lots. Remember, they took off Nico Riley. They brought on Ake. They brought on Stones. They brought on Nico Gonzalez. Pep, like you said, Pep literally said, "I'm shutting up shop. I'm bringing on every
I'll show you real D block." That's what he said.
If you could bring on another keeper to play alongside,
I'll show you real D block. I'll show you real low block. That's what he said. Literally.
And so, me personally, I'm not on the Gyök hate train or anything. I feel like the brother needs time. We're just like you said, we're not playing his style of football.
Is that not worrying? Yeah,
it's worrying signs because I'm not even talking about his finishing or his striking. I'm scared that a 5-yard pass, the ball bounces off him.
Yeah.
He tries to hold up the play. The ball sometimes bounces off him. His way of passing when he needs to release, it's not there. His decision making of when he receives the ball, what do I do? It's not great. He'll hold on to the ball. He don't know what he's doing. It's like you said, it genuinely feels like a player that's come from Portugal, the stigma that they have, and he's...
Like Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, he's coming into it going, you know what? Everything that you guys have said about the Portuguese league, especially as an attacker, is true. Because the way he plays... It's like that where he doesn't look fit. He doesn't fit in. He doesn't look like himself. So for me, like you said, back-to-back, super sub Martinelli, I think he's a way better 9 than he is a left winger. But I think every Arsenal fan was on that boat where they were like, just try him in the 9.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does. We know he stretches his defence. He knows your system. This, that. It's just not many people trust him. That's why, like I said, it goes back to the Eze where... He still has that Palace in him where he's not afraid to take risks.
Yeah.
There's so many times he's tried throwing the ball.
But I'm scared that's going to get drilled out of him.
It will. No,
I'm scared that that's going to get drilled out of him soon. Where that creativity, that creative spark.
I can tell you it will, bro. I don't even have to lie to you.
Out of him. Kind of like what Pep's done to players over the years.
Like a Grealish.
Like a Grealish, you know? I think that I'm kind of worried for Eze in that sense.
It will happen. It will happen.
But with the Gyökeres, bro, and I've seen the arguments online. But I do think that games where you're playing against lower teams and where you have like you're dominating possession and you're creating abundance, like a crazy amount of chances, he'll get the goals. 100%. Because there'll be so many chances there for him that he will score the goals. But it's just in these type of games and these big games against the stronger opposition, like the Man Cities, the Liverpools, that's where he's going to struggle because when it gets to that level, now it's about the technical. The detail is so marginal at that point. Like, it's all about quality of the player now. You know, so you look at Haaland. Yes, Haaland was also that similar type of profile where his touches weren't the great, but because everything else about him is so elite, top tier, that he can slightly get away with that.
Yeah.
Gyökeres, I don't think he's of that level of Haaland. Nowhere near it. So it's like when he's ball bouncing off him and he's not getting his touches right, it's glaring at you because it's like if you're not getting that right and you're not offering anything else, why are you even on the pitch?
But then it goes back to me where I do feel sorry for him because, like you said, where we didn't play with no creative player. So he's making these runs and no one's threading him the pass. And he's making good runs. And he's done it this whole season where players are just not looking. They've either overhit the pass or they've not trusted to make that pass or they're recycling because they're so wired into Arteta football where they're like, let's just dominate possession, tire them out, then hit them. But like you said, previous seasons, it was, we're just smacking you in the mouth off the jump.
Yeah.
And then making you feel it early. Then we can sit back kind of thing. But it goes back to, like you said, with Arteta, you've had so many attackers. You've come out of it 1-1. Obviously, I'm upset as an Arsenal fan because I went into it thinking, Man City are not that strong. They're there to be got at. Another thing that people forgot, we played on Tuesday. They played on Thursday. That plays a big that plays a big factor in it. I thought, fresher legs, we'll go into it. Him not starting Eze, I don't think it's an injury because he came on second half. Yeah. It was just a manager where I feel like he knows Pep's inferior to him and he's trying to do the... He's trying to catch up to him where he's overthinks it. Same with PSG.
He's got the Pep gene. He's got the Pep gene.
Same with Liverpool. Overthinks
He's definitely a disciple of Pep because he's got that overthinking gene, 100%. And he caught life today for me. He caught life, bro.
1,000%.
That equalizer from Martinelli, by the way, wallahi, I have to give him credit.
Saying wallahi.
We have to give. You know why? You know how hard it is to score that goal. Not only is the touch, but then to be able to dink it, over Donnarumma. And get it perfect.
It's like 6-6
bro.
As well, yeah.
I genuinely want to see what the XG was on that goal because that finish is so. Because
you got to remember as well, like
because he's running away from goal, so he's not even running towards goal. He's going away from goal. He's noticed Donnarumma's off his line. Donnarumma's like 6'6", bro. 6'7".
Exactly.
manage to chip it over him
Yep.
and get enough pace on the board so that it gets to the goal before any defender can even try to clear off the line.
No, facts,
bro,
facts.
it's elite finish, bro. And I think obviously Martinelli's come with that Michael Jordan energy of like he's taking everything personal.
But no, it's not even that. I genuinely think he's looked at the squad and he went, Noni's not better than me. Trossard's not better than me.
Yeah.
Even Gyok's not better than me, but I haven't proved it because I've been playing bad. So I need to somehow, because like you said, he's a kid, so he's gonna be on social media. He's gonna see this. He's gonna see people talk about it. He's gonna see people say, "Get Martinelli out." How's he getting called for Brazil? How is this?
Which,
how's
to be
that?
fair, it was fair.
It was warranted.
It was warranted.
It was warranted.
It was warranted.
But if someone's were like you said, is as a player, how am I gonna react? How do I react?
And he's doing it in the best way possible.
He is.
This
The
is
minutes
best
he's
way to-
getting,
yeah.
But I don't know what the situation is.
But I
is
think
he going into that Trossard route where he's like, I'm a way better impact sub with tired legs, or start me kind of thing?
No, I think that what you just said there against tired legs when he comes on in the 65th minute, 70th minute when he's got like 20 to 30 minutes to play and the other team has started to feel a bit tired, that's where he's at his most dangerous because he's got the legs, he's got the pace and he's got the directness to cause problems.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you're seeing the type of impact he's having midweek Champions League today again.
Yeah.
It's not coincidental, bro.
Yeah.
It's just his strengths are suited to late in the game. That's why even remember when he scored the winner a couple of years back against City.
Yeah.
When he scored a deflected goal. He came off the bench that game too.
Yeah.
Trust
Came
me,
out from
it's
injury
not,
as well.
yeah,
I remember,
and that was against City as well. It's not a coincidence, bro.
Yeah.
His ability, his strengths are suited to the latter stage of the game.
But then you know what for me it is, in regards to that, it's
He just has to embrace it, by the way.
If with him it's his best attribute is his speed, and we know that.
Yeah.
So what do? You got to accommodate and cater to his speed. So and the thing that people don't understand that it's very underrated in Martinelli's game. The way he marks his run and makes his run is very underrated.
Yeah.
It's devalued at Arsenal.
Yeah.
So when I've seen it so many games where he'll make the run, the pass is not going up because Rice is thinking to go sideways. At the time, Park was thinking to go sideways. Odegaard's thinking to go sideways.
Yeah, no one's hitting those direct, those forward passes. Yeah.
And then for me again, I'm like, that's for years I've been thinking about. I'm like, if Arsenal's got an analytical team and they're watching it and they're going, how do we get the best out of these certain players? You got to surround them with players that cater to their strengths. That's why I was so happy with Eze today. Calafiori did it last week, where sometimes playing the side-to-side stuff don't work. But when Man City said, for example, at that time, which was personally, I think the first time in a while, where they played a high line, use the speed that you have to play the ball in behind. And
That's it, yeah.
they did that today.
Yeah. I think what it is that the players at Arsenal need to take initiative.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to ignore the manager's instructions. Sometimes you might have to ignore the manager's instructions and try the dangerous passes. Maybe take those risks that maybe the manager doesn't want you to take.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it's on the players to do that, bro.
No,
It's on those creative players to just take that initiative and try something, you know? So credit to Martinelli, man. I need to give him credit because he
100%.
both goals, the goal midweek when he ran from the halfway and that first touch before he slotted it away, and then today are
You know who the only player that I've seen at Arsenal is not brainwashed by Arteta? What I mean by that is he plays his game. He don't play Arsenal's game. It's Trossard.
Yes.
He's the only one I've watched where I'm like, when he's trying stuff, he don't care.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to make mistakes. Like you said, Bilbao on the weekend, when he came on against Forest, where Zubimeni scored a header.
Yeah.
It goes back to, like I said, that's why players like Trossard have high GA.
Yeah.
Because they're high risk takers.
Yeah.
So high risk, high reward.
Literally,
and he's epitomized that. But with players like, say, for example, the Rices, I'm like, he only plays like himself when we're losing. But when we're winning, it's safe passes. I can drive into the space, but I don't really want to. I'd rather just recycle. It's just constant recycling, recycling. And I'm like, I know he's a better player than that. I trust him on the ball. I know he's a better player than that. But it goes back to Arteta, in my opinion, they're more afraid to make mistakes than be risky, if that makes sense. Which is the most annoying thing.
I'm with you. So how are you feeling now? So obviously to wrap this game up, how you feel about Arteta? And what do you think about your title chances now? Because now you look at it.
Yeah, we're 5 points behind them.
You're 5 points behind. Yeah. Liverpool have won every single game this season. Every single competitive game this year, apart from the Community Shield, which they lost. Apart from that, Champions League, they've won their game. All the Premier League games they've won. Yeah. And right now, bro, they are just, even though, yes, people can argue the way they're winning games hasn't been sustained. It's not sustainable. They're winning in the last minute, whatever.
Still winning, so
but the thing is, what people choose to ignore is that even in the games where they're winning the last minute, they are dominating those games. they should be blowing teams away.
Yeah.
They're just not. They're getting a bit complacent and letting teams back into the game. And now they're in a position where already 5 games in, they're 5 points ahead of you, bro. And for me, I just can't see if Arteta doesn't become more brave in his approach, especially in big games. I find it very hard to see Arsenal and Arteta winning the title this season. And I'm going to stick to my guns. They are not winning the title this season, bro. They're not winning. It's going to be another season of disappointment. I promise you that.
I respect it. I understand. I'm not looking at it naive going, you know what? You're just a hater. You are a hater, but you're thinking, you think it's sensibly, innit? For me, the only thing that I'm not kind of clutching on, but the only thing that's keeping me like sane is the fact that this is all early in the season. So there's a lot to play for.
100%.
That's the only thing. And the one thing as well, it's Liverpool had some difficult fixtures.
Yeah.
But I feel like with us, we've had tougher start to the season.
Yeah.
In the sense of, we went Anfield already, we went Old Trafford, we've played Man City, we've got Newcastle next. So like 4 out like the top 7 sides will get out of the way. It's just handling those other teams, the mid-table, the lower league teams, and just doing what we've done against Forest, doing what we've done against Leeds, where we just blow them out of the water, get it out of the way, and put the pressure back on. Like you said, if you said this to me in March, if you said this to me in February, if you said this to me in April, I probably would have been on your side and said, yo, because there's so much football still to play for.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm like...
This is my thing, though. When I criticize Arteta or when I criticize the team, there's always some sort of rebuttal. You know, there's always some sort of rebuttal. There's always some sort of excuse. And then it's, on top of that, coupled with, we have the best this. We have the best that. We have the best squad. Our second team's better than your first team. Like, it's like, I'm hearing all these crazy statements. We got an amazing first team and we got an amazing second team.
But
so then win, please. Win, please.
But you know what it is?
In the famous words I see, win, please.
But you know what it is, yeah?
Because you can't keep doing that. You can't keep making these rebuttals. You can't make these excuses and then at the end try to tell us that you have the best team or best defense in the league, best goalkeeper in the league. I've got guys raving about the clean sheets that Rayo's got. You got people raving about the quality that you have in depth. So then what's going on then? You have the best squad in the league. You got the best team in the league. Apparently you got you're on this trajectory that you keep talking about. This trajectory, it's coming. When is it gonna come, please? Because you got Liverpool now already in the driving seat. And I don't see how a team like that and this is not you have to remember, this Liverpool team that are challenging for the title again this season, this is not a young, fresh, new Liverpool team. Yes, they got new players, but you still have the experienced players. You still have the Van Dijk. You still have Alisson. You still have Salah. You still got winners in that team that know how to win and have done it. Coupled with the new signings now, 100%. With better quality, more players that can provide that extra bit of quality in the team. And they're brave. Liverpool are a brave team. They're actually a brave team. They don't care which stadium they're at. They don't care who the opposition is. They are going to continue being on the front foot and try to go at teams. Whereas you lot, I feel like the opposite.
But then it goes back to how you alluded to it. When we changed our season, that year where we signed Jesus and Zinchenko and that, like you said, we brought winners into the camp. They've changed their mindset. You know where I'm coming from. And the one thing as an Arsenal fan where I'm comfortable with, you saying we've got the best squad, I agree with you. Whether it's the best up-and-coming talent coming through, I agree with you. Whether it's defense, whether it's attack, whether it's depth, whether it's this, whether it's that. The one thing I'm very content with, I agree with everything you said, but you know who's going to have the pressure? It'll be the manager. So for me, it's like he's now the denominator. So now I'm looking at as, you've built the squad. You've had the war chest in the summer of the signings that you wanted to make. You brought in the technical director you wanted. You've done everything, like you said, to cater to this manager, to produce on the pitch and win big silverware. So I personally don't think Arteta gets sacked if
but
nothing. And we both
okay, but I'm going to ask you the question.
Okay, cool, go on.
So the question is, if Arteta doesn't deliver, any trophies this season, are you done with him?
Yeah.
But like you, I know that there's the club and the fans are two different things, but I'm saying for you personally, are you done with Arteta if he does not deliver something this season?
Main reason, he's not a manager. He's not a manager where he's been given 2 years to turn it around. He's had 6.
Bro, 6 years.
Yeah, and
he hasn't won in 5.
I'm not these naive managers. Yes, if Arteta were to get sacked, every top club will grab him. I understand that. But then for me, there's different kind of managers. Arteta might be an elite project manager. He might he can go to United, change your fortunes, and make you a better side. But there's certain managers like Slot, that it don't matter. I'm still gonna win a league title.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of managers that got the balance of can do like Pep. That can do a project and deliver with the project. Whether it's a Mourinho, whether it's a whether it's a Klopp.
There's some managers that just know how to get over the line. They know how to get over the line. Like,
but we don't know that.
Enrique's a good example. Yeah. Enrique, that wasn't his team. Obviously, yes, Mbappe left and he added a couple more pieces, but the base of that team was already there. He just turned them into, he managed to get them over the line to deliver.
But you know what I respect?
And some managers are just good at that part.
But you know what I respect about Enrique that for me separates from Arteta. The one thing we can all admit with Mikel Arteta, as a great manager as he is, he knows how to make a defense look unreal. Yeah. They'll come from whether it's bringing in Mosquera, him getting applaudits in the raves, all that stuff. He knows, yes, when it comes to talent ID, when it comes to coaching, when it comes to developing players like a Gabriel Magalhaes, where it was injury, I'm not injury, he was error prone to being faultless now. He's elite at that.
He's elite.
One question mark that everyone knows is, what about your attackers? Like, can you develop your attackers? Like, what can you do? Coming from? Yeah. And there's some spells that he's done it, but for me, there's certain players and there's certain levels where they don't really need development. They just need structure. Yeah. Like a Bukayo. Everyone knew Bukayo looked like he was going to go to the top. Just needed some sort of structure, some sort of whatever. Yeah. He's done that. He's helped out with Martinelli, but then Martinelli's regressed. Yeah. So that means you have done your job, but you haven't done your job.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because the development in terms of the attackers, it's been yo-yo.
It's been yo-yo,
there's moments where, apart from Bukayo being the only one that's been consistent throughout his entire time at Arsenal, there's no real attackers you could actually say, yo, they've actually banged consistently for you. Like, you can't say Trossard's been like patches. He's had patches.
No, but Trossard's been like that. So it's not like, we've made Trossard a better player.
Because he was like that.
Trossard's always been like that. But it's just, I'm not doing it with better players. Yeah. So I'm not really going to put it in that sense, if that makes sense. But no, yes, I was going to put what you asked me. Yes, I'd get rid of Arteta in the summer because I'm not a person where I drool and I'm like, bro, we're literally one season away from. How many times can you say we're a year off? We're a year off. How many times can you say that?
You've seen Sharky on SDS.
But how many times can you say that?
It's every year. It's always prediction Arsenal going to win the league. He'll give you 100 reasons why Arsenal win the league. He's always got a reason to back it, and he's not the only fan. So there's just a lot of fans like that, where they've always got reasons behind everything. There's excuse behind it. There's always trust the manager. I have faith in the manager. I trust everything that the manager's doing, bro. Sometimes you have to just sit back and be like, maybe, just maybe, Arteta is very good at, like you said, building a project. Yeah. And for me, what he's become elite at is risk management. Yeah. He's very good. Yeah. He's become very good at minimizing risk, and making his defensive line not concede goals. Yeah. That's what he's become really good at. But then when it comes to games like Liverpool and Man City, it's not about that anymore. Yeah. Because even they might be good at that as well. Yeah. Like you said, like Liverpool.
But that's the whole point of top teams.
It's marginal, bro. Yeah, that's why you got to be a bit brave.
And lastly, obviously, the last point I want to make here. This is the one thing that annoys me as being an Arsenal fan. It's football is opinionated. Yeah. You're like you with Man United. Sometimes you was riding out for Erik ten Hag. You clock Erik ten Hag, maybe he's not the man. Yeah. I've given you the time. I've given you what you wanted. You're just not the guy to bring take Man United
back.
Bring Man United back, correct?
Yeah.
It's the same with Arteta. But with the thing that kills people with Arteta, like say for example Sharky, people will be like, you've asked me, if Arteta doesn't win anything, is it time to move on? And I said to you, yes. Yeah. I have the backing. I have the information. I have the facts. I've seen his body of work. I'm not saying he's a shit manager. Yeah. It's just a manager that might not be able to get it over the head. Yeah. Get it over the line. Yeah. But he might be able to do that this season. Yeah. However, if say for example now, me saying to you now on your platform, get rid of him if he doesn't win it. And if he ends up winning it, everyone's gonna be like, well, you said you wanted to get rid of him because he didn't win it. But they're not reading the question. They're now thinking, I'm Arteta out. Yeah. I'm not Arteta out.
But you're just saying that if that is the outcome of the season, then I don't want...
And then everyone's argument is, it goes back to everyone's argument, if you get rid of Arteta, who are you bringing in?
And I hate that. You know why I hate that one? You know why I hate that so much? Liverpool is such a good example, bro. Like, you see, Slot, all he's done, he's come into that Liverpool, taken the same squad, didn't get any players in, and just refined it, bro. Yeah. And then got them to win the title. That's all he done. And what you're telling me? There's no. And who was Slot before Liverpool? Not really. Most of us didn't really know who Slot was. Really and truly, bro. No one really watched the Dutch league like that. No one was paying attention to what he was doing in the Dutch league. So it's not necessarily that. Yes, you can give praise, but also criticize. Arteta's done an amazing job to get you guys into this position, to get you guys challenging for the title. But there's a chance. I'm not saying 100%, but from all the evidence I've seen up to this point, including today's game, everything suggests to me he's just not the guy to take you over the edge, to take you over that line. And maybe there is another manager out there, whether they're at the top club or whether they're at a different, maybe a mid-table club or at a different league, whatever it is, there is definitely a manager out there that can refine, that wants this squad, that can refine this squad and get you over that line. But if you say that, unfortunately, it's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing in the world. Like, and I understand it because Arsenal fans, they have this emotional attachment towards Arteta. They've seen him literally build this squad, this house, brick by brick, and they don't want to let that attachment go. So I get it. They want him to finish the story. It's like a fantasy in their brain, bro. They want him to be the guy to. It's like a story, it's like SDS in Baller League. They want the story to finish in the way they want it to finish, which is Arteta lifting the Premier League. But the idea of Arteta being sacked to them is like a nightmare. They don't want to see that.
But you know what it is? A lot of Arsenal fans are not from the older generation.
Yes.
So they've not seen us win.
Yeah.
So they're used to the Wenger 06 onwards, to then Unai, to then being in that shit show. So a lot of the Arsenal fans are like, we're consistently playing Champions League, we're consistently competing for the title. I kind of like where we're at.
Yeah.
Because we can always say we're challenging for the title. If we don't win it, we're going to make that excuse of this happened, that's happened, and then they buy everything that Arteta throws in the media, and then that's clouded their judgment to have them thinking that. But then when you look at it from the outside, when you're looking at it from bird's eye view, and you're viewing it, you're like, it's been there 6 years. He's won one FA Cup early in his career. He's what's the word? He's gone away from domestic cups. Even though we lost last year to Newcastle, but every single year, like we've gone out. He sacrifices
he
sacrifices it. Everyone uses that as an excuse of we're challenging for the title anyway, so it don't matter. That's one extra day that we get to relax or whatever. One extra week we get to relax or whatever. Then it's the same. We've been doing that for 3 years, bro.
Bro, it's crazy.
So now we've got the depth. I feel like this season we will go over the line. I don't know whether it's Champions League or Premier League. It's just he needs to act on it fast.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think he will.
I think he will. I think Arteta will, but he's got to act on it fast.
But you made one very good point there. Is that a lot of Arsenal fans, just like the feeling of where they're at, their club is at currently, and they like the feeling of being able to say,
they're comfortable.
We're challenging for the title. They're happy with that, and because they're happy with that, they don't want to see that position be jeopardized.
I'll add something else, which why Arteta doesn't get killed, in my opinion, because Arsenal don't have a rivalry with Liverpool, so there's not really much back and forth going on. Even though last season it wasn't much, Man City was never really that comp. Even though we've tried and we've done it, but there are a lot of Man City fans, but I think in your personal group, whether your personal friendship, there's not many that you can go back and forth with. But like you said, God forbid if you man won the league, God forbid of Chelsea won the league. What's the conversation changed to?
Sack him now. That's what it changes.
There you go.
That's what it changes.
They're just lucky it's two elite teams where it's not teams where their friendship groups are surrounded by and around where they're not going to get cussed. Because now, obviously, it's not going to happen. But if you, man, turned it around this season and were challenged for the league and eventually won it, or Chelsea,
it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. You man are going to laugh at us. Now everyone's like, Arteta, you pussy, or like, how you come from? This is that.
No, facts. No, I agree with you, bro. I agree with everything you said. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, it's still early into the season. 5 games in.
That's the only reason I'm so
It's still 5 games in, so obviously, but I can't lie. He's got the right squad. He's got the right squad. The warning signs for me and the red flags are there. The warning signs and the red flags are there.
But Kayo's back, so it could be different.
Yeah, maybe, but we'll see. Okay, so now we're moving on to Manchester United's 2-1 victory over Chelsea. Finally this week, I can smile again.
I was there as well.
Last week, obviously, after the Manchester derby, it was spooky. It was spooky times. Obviously, I said it was over for Amorim.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you, I still have that sense of feeling. But the performance against Chelsea, I do have to give the manager credit.
Okay.
I do need to give the players credit.
Okay.
Because I think the performance, especially in the first half, in that first half, the energy that they came with right from the get-go was what I think every Manchester United fan wanted to see. Yeah. And I think that's what we want to see on a consistent basis. But that's what we want to see is good performances, and see that the players are putting in 100% on the pitch.
Yeah.
So even if we lose, we can still say, you know what? We played well.
Yeah.
We didn't get the result today because we are a team that is in transition. We're not expected to win every single game.
Yeah.
But what we do expect to see of Manchester United standard, and as a Manchester United fan, is good performances.
Yep.
And I think we got that, especially in the first half against Chelsea. Obviously, the early red card, Robert Sanchez, obviously was a big game changer.
Yeah, 1,000%.
It's obvious. It was a big game changer. But that came from our pressure.
Yep.
So, I don't like the fact that everyone just say, oh, but you beat 10 men. Yes, we beat 10 men, but we didn't force you to have 10 men.
Yeah.
It's the press. The pressure got to your players in those early 5 minutes. Robert Sanchez obviously made a stupid mistake that got him sent off. And then obviously now the game's kind of gone in a way where we got the advantage now. Yeah. And it's written for Man United to win the game, which we ended up doing. So obviously, we've gone in early with the Bruno Fernandes goal. And then not too long after that, Casemiro obviously makes it 2-0. And then at that point, bro, I'm thinking, it's comfy. Yeah. This is going to be
a that's
comfy.
Your fault.
But this is where Man United catch
you. This is
where Man United...
They pulled you like this.
Yeah, this is where... Why get too excited? We got something for you, man. This is what I hate about Man United. It's like, you can never... At 2-0, you can never sit comfortable.
Yeah.
Because at any given moment, anything can happen. And that's exactly what happens. It's like Man United... Anytime we're in a comfortable position, it's like they want to throw in a stipulation. It's like a goal.
You know what I didn't understand from the game, which was a bit weird.
Yeah.
As a neutral, just watching two clubs that I hate. I was watching it, and I'm like, once you got the first one in, I was like, okay, cool. You know what? They're at the front foot.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, they got the ball. They're doing what they need to do. But then I was like, I don't know. Obviously, you was at the game. It still didn't feel like you man were kicking ball.
You think so?
Like it was weird, like it was weird in terms of like you were overloading on certain sides because you've got the extra man, which I completely understand. But like your transition when you got the ball was a bit odd because for some reason, even when Chelsea were 2-0 down, they were like still throwing bodies going forward, innit? Yeah. So it was weird watching it where you're still like playing 100 miles per hour. Like you never like took the weight, like took the heat off.
I get what you're saying.
Get comfortable and then break them down naturally, if that makes, because you're already 2-0 up.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like you said, where Man United was they felt the crowd's energy. So whenever they lost the ball, they're hounding them, which I think why Casemiro got the second yellow, if that makes sense. Where,
which wasn't a second yellow, by the way. It shouldn't have been a second yellow, but it is what it is. You put himself in that position, isn't it?
Like you said, you're 2-0 up, comfortable.
There's no need.
There's no need.
There's no need for that. And that's where he went wrong. That's where he went wrong. No, but I agree to some extent of what you're saying, but
I'm not saying you played bad.
But I also disagree in the sense that I think we should have been up 3-4-0 by half time.
You should have.
But you know what my United's problem is, and I've been saying it for the past few weeks, is when we get to that final third, the decision making and the quality in that final third lacks. And that comes down to the passing when you don't need to pass, taking the extra touch when you don't need to take the extra touch, shooting when you're not meant to be shooting. Yeah. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? It's like they shoot when they should be passing. They pass when they should be shooting. And like I also felt like in that towards the end of that first half, it's almost like they're trying to force Sesko to score. It's like they're all. I feel like they all know this situation where obviously Sesko hasn't scored yet, and now they're all looking for Sesko. Yeah, it's like there was times where Bruno could have easily just taken a shot on the edge of the box, or he could have gone for goal himself, or even like Ahmad could have gone for goal for himself. But it's almost like they're trying to make it. It's like you're not saying, "Oh, let the shit guy score." Yeah. That's what they're trying to do. Do you know what I mean? And I get it. Yes, he's under pressure and he's trying to go, but don't force it though. Yeah. Don't force it. Let it come naturally. Like the chances will come.
But even watching, even watching Sesko, it was the weirdest. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know what kind of hex, what kind of judge, black magic, whatever it is, is put into that striker position. Yeah. Because
I think he did okay, bro. I think it's harsh. I think he did all right still.
But you gotta listen. Yeah. It was 2-0, 10 men against a side that are vulnerable at the back because obviously they lost Cole. They had Fofana was at right back. Yeah, you know, coming from. I'm looking at. I'm like you said. I'm like, yo, take a touch. It'd be easy. Like you're gonna kill them anyway. Look, why does it have to be? Why does it have to be a fast death? Why can't it just be a slow one where we're gonna get 5 in, we're gonna score 5, but it might be 2 in the first half, 3 in the second half, kind of thing. Like you said, like they wanted to the way Hasib would say it. They wanted to nut quick. Yeah, you didn't have to do that.
You didn't have to. No, you didn't have to. Like, but I think it's more on the players. I think the players didn't do him justice. I think I think they forced it.
But then you know what I don't understand. This is how I just.
But yes, you're right. I think he could have done better for himself. But I think also the players, in terms of the quality in that final third, I think.
They didn't do him justice. The only side, bar I would say Bruno. I feel like Bruno's an anomaly. I feel like Bruno can fit in any system, any playing style, any players in front of him. He can adapt to it. Whereas with Man United, whether it's Mbeumo coming in, it's like, even Sesko, it's, they all, not saying they all play individually, they like to play as a team.
Yeah.
But they all such a different profile that it kind of clashes. Like you're trying to find the middle ground of profiles that you're playing with. In terms of, Mbeumo, Mbeumo's better when he's got someone like a Tony, where Sesko can be his Tony in regards to that.
Yeah.
You know where I'm coming from? Then you got Ahmad, in my opinion, that's got that Garnacho gene where everything's a highlight reel. Like for the last 4 weeks, I've been seeing him trying to do bicycle.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But, well, like jarring. Like I've watched him like every single time he's trying to do acrobatic stuff, and I'm thinking, bro, just put the ball in the back of the net. Like, not everything's for social media kind of vibe, innit?
Yeah.
And then you've got the likes of Bruno that's playing in a double pivot, which was annoying. And the one thing, obviously, that helped in regards to it being with 10 men with Chelsea being 10 men is because now you're dominating the ball.
Yeah.
You can push that centre back into that midfield position. You can push Bruno back into the place that he plays, which was closer to the goal, that 10 shadow striker, 10-ish role, creative, where the goals that we naturally see him score, the header, going into it, you know, all that stuff. And I'm like...
And I think it worked at spells.
Yeah,
during spells in that game, it worked. And you know what it is? I think I hear where you're coming from, but I just think also, like, I think we're overthinking it a little bit. I think we're nitpicking at those moments a little bit for this game. I think... Overall, I think the players played really well. I don't think there was any standout bad performer.
But you know what?
Of course, the 10 men helped.
But you know why I say that, and this is just me being honest.
Yeah.
As a neutral person, regardless, I don't know why. When I was watching the game, I was like, even though you was 2-0, I was like, man, you still can get got, you know.
This is
it was the weirdest feeling.
That's a feeling that's always there, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like I was like. And then the moment Casemiro made it, I said, I remember putting it in the chat. I said, Kane's back on, boys. No. I do not trust Man United to hold on it. And then when they gave me that warning where Fofana scored the own goal, when Fofana scored the offside goal, I went, that's the warning shot. I said, okay, cool. But the only thing, like I said, which Maresca kind of effed up with, was
the early subs that he made.
It's like the Estevao on for Sanchez, rightfully so. I completely understand.
Yeah,
that. Cole Palmer coming off. He's always had like a niggling groin injury. Just played against Bayern Munich. I'm not chasing shadows for 60 minutes. I'm just going to damage my groin a bit more. And Maresca made that perfect. Pedro Neto one, I was like, so you're more afraid of going down by 5s and 6s than thinking. Because now you're looking at it as...
damage control.
Because you, like you said, you generally don't know how the game's going on because Casemiro got a yellow card early. So you're like, you don't know how the game's going on. So now you're going into half-time going, if I still had Pedro Neto on, it might have been a different game.
And
it could have been a different game.
And that's where I criticize. I think Chelsea...
It's more Maresca than thingy.
It's only 100%. Maresca has to take he has to take the criticism for that game because I think he surrendered the game way too early with those subs. Yes, you've gone down to 10 men, and yes, you're going to be forced to bring on the goalkeeper. But he should have bided more time.
But no,
he should have bided more time and waited before making those changes.
You know what it goes back to? As you said, who's the greatest at risk management and all that stuff?
Arteta.
Nope.
Right now in the league, you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Arteta's part of it.
Yeah.
But who's the top of the tree?
Oh, Mourinho.
No, not Mourinho. No, I know it's Mourinho. I'm talking about Pep.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah. Okay.
And what tree is this?
This is the same tree.
It's the reactive tree. It's the reactive tree.
Yes, he's a disciple of Guardiola. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So it's a reactive tree. So him doing that, Pep will do that. Arteta will do that. Enzo's going to do that. Because they're more concerned about, I'm not getting packed 5s. I'd rather lose slow death or 3-0, do what I need to do without thinking, you know what.
But that's ultimately what cost Chelsea, though. And one thing I definitely noticed about Saturday is that is Cole Palmer's team. When Cole Palmer is not on that pitch, the chances don't really come often for Chelsea. That's one thing I noticed. And obviously, because they made that early sub with Cole Palmer, I can't lie. Apart from maybe set pieces and when the crosses are coming in, I didn't really feel like Chelsea were threatening. Even when it was 10v10, I didn't feel like they were threatening enough.
But then you got to look at it, They went from Cole Palmer to who's our next best creator? Reece James.
Yeah.
So it's your right back now. So you're looking at it going, well, obviously he played more right centre mid, but
João Pedro to be fair. João Pedro as well.
No, but João Pedro,
he was probably their best player.
No, but João Pedro is a link-up player.
Yes.
So he gets on the ball like he's a 10. He's not a striker. We both know this. Like, he can change the game, but when you have no support, you've nullified.
That's exactly what we did to him. Still,
and
we nullified.
Now you're looking at it and you're like, okay, cool. That's why I feel like it's much more. Man United fans more at ease because they're like, yo, stop the crossing. We should be fine.
Yeah. And that's why the goal pissed me off. And that's why the goal pissed me off because the goal, I don't even remember it, but it was a sequence of like a couple corners and maybe a cross where we just slept for a
Yeah,
little bit,
100%.
and we're letting Chelsea just get 3 crosses into the box, and they ultimately scored that. Trevor Chalobah got the header and they made it 2-1, and that's my issue with Man United, and I think a lot of Man United fans will agree with me on this. Is that when we are in a comfortable, favourable position in the game where we can just either kill the game off or just see out the game comfortably, we always find a way to give a fighting chance to the other team. Somehow. So even when we went down to 10 men, we made it 10v10.
Yeah.
And then when we make it 10v10, it's almost like, yes, I felt like we still had element control because luckily we're 2-0 up.
Yeah.
But I felt like if we were like 1-0 up or it was 0-0, we end up losing that game.
But you know what they say,
That's
though?
the problem. We end up losing that game.
But you know what they say, though? 2-0 is like the most dangerous scoreline in football.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you feel like you're comfortable, but then once that goal goes, like I said, momentum shifts.
100%.
And Man United are vulnerable when it comes to them kind of situations.
They're vulnerable to any adversity.
No, I thought
and that's why I have to give them credit on Saturday.
I do.
Yeah.
I know 100%. I do want to give credit to Chelsea because they didn't go like their manager might have backed down fighting,
surrendered,
but the players were like,
no, we can still try.
We can do something with this.
Yeah.
So, like you said, again, I think that stems from just Chelsea as a club because they're all serial winners. That they're like, this game's not over. But even when it was 10 men, they're throwing bodies forward. They're coming from. So I was like, I kind of like this. It was just like you said. It was just you brought on Tyreek George. Obviously, Maresca came out at the post conference saying like he was going to bring on Garnacho instead of Tyreek George.
He didn't come on as well.
He was going to bring on Garnacho instead of Gusto.
Yeah.
But Fofana asked to get subbed.
Yeah.
So that's why Gusto and Tyreek George.
Ultimately, bro, for Chelsea, they lost the game ultimately because of the red card, but also because of their game management. I think their game management was really
100%. But also, I give credit to Man United for getting that monkey off their back and actually winning a big game.
Yeah.
But the only thing that for me as a United, if I was a United fan, that would annoy me is if the game was 10 men sooner or whatever situation. Like there's so many instances. I'm like you said, where
we still show signs of vulnerability.
You're kind of like,
you're right.
But I'm not even looking at it from a vulnerable side from the defense. I'm looking at more as an attack in terms of, I look at Man United and I'm like, defensively, sometimes you're decent, sometimes you're not. Attackingly, sometimes you're decent, sometimes you're not. But there's moments in games where, like you said, the first half, you could have killed the game off 3-0, 4-0, where they don't even think about.
Yeah.
Then it's damage control from Chelsea. But then, like, the back end of the game as well, where, like, the last 15, when I think it was Mount came on, especially when Cunha came on, and I'm like, Chelsea have thrown everyone forward. So now it's like the 2-1s, the 3-1 sequences, where I'm like,
we're not clinical now.
Like, it's not forget about clinical. Yeah. You're not creating the right chances. Yeah. So I'm like,
but what does that come down to? Bro,
is that coaching? Is that players?
And
what is that?
This is my thing. I don't think that's a coaching problem.
Okay.
That's more on the players when it comes to their decision making in that final third. Because when it comes to getting into those positions, we get into those positions fine.
Yeah.
Like we get into that final attacking third absolutely fine. Yeah. But it's that final decision. Like I feel like either the players overthink it. It's almost like, bro, it's like Judge, bro. They just like all of a sudden they lose their powers and they lose their thinking powers and they overthink. It's either they make the wrong passing choice or they shoot when they're not meant to shoot or their decision making becomes really, really poor. Yeah. And then on top of that, then you couple that with not being clinical as well. Yeah. So when you got those two, that's the worst two combinations to have, bro. You're not clinical and your decision making is poor.
Yeah, facts.
And that's what you end up seeing, bro. Yeah. So I don't think that's a coaching problem. I think we do everything fine up the field until we get to that final third. You know, like even the goals we scored, let's be honest with you, like the Bruno goal, yes, fine. And then it's Casemiro, it was a cross. Yeah. It was a bit messy as well.
It was a flick on. Do you know what I mean?
It was a really clear cut. And
sure wanted it more.
And that's where my problem with United is that we are just not, one, we're not clinical enough when we need to be, but also decision making in the final third. But I feel like if we can get that to tick, and I'm hoping this game maybe gives the spark or the confidence that this team needs in order to build on from that, then I think we could. You could see something.
Who's your next game?
Our next game is away to Brentford, which I generally feel that should be our winnable game, and that should be the first time, hopefully, under Amro where we actually can win back-to-back games, bro. Yeah. So I generally do feel like that's a game that we should be winning. Yeah. But I think Brentford are poor at the moment. Yeah. They've lost all their best players. Yeah. They just lost this weekend to Wolves 3-1.
I think it was 4-1.
Fulham 3-1. Sorry, apologies.
Yeah, like that, yeah.
So yeah, we should be going at them next week. Actually, I think we should definitely, like I said, bro, for Man United fans, it's about the consistency of the performances. What we saw against Chelsea, especially in the first half, because I'm going to be specific with the first
100%.
half, but also what we saw against Arsenal. Like, that's the type of performance we just want to be see consistent base. What's the point of us playing like that against Chelsea and then against Brentford away, we go back to that awful mess of
But is it more to do with when you're the underdog?
Yeah.
You can play more freely.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Because
That comes
the two games that you're referring to was two teams that had a better season than you last year.
100%.
Regardless that you're at Old Trafford, you're just looking at it, go like, look at form, look at player personnel, look at whatever.
It was the same last season, though. It was the same last season against Arsenal, against Liverpool, Anfield, where we drew, against City away.
Yeah.
Like, we play better when we're the underdog, which is true, 100%. But to be a top team and to be a team that wants to improve, you have to be doing that on a consistent basis. I
can see the Fulham away this season. Yeah, where you're dominant the first 25 minutes,
but not clinical enough,
and then it invites them into the game, and then you know how it is.
But that's the pattern,
and then brings the crowd into it, and then that changes everything.
And this is the thing and that's why with Amorim, even though I've said like I think it's best that he leaves, and I still feel like that.
I agree with you. I still think he should go.
I still think he's got, and the only reason why I'm saying that is because the problems are still there. Yeah. The problems are still glaring. Yes, this week we got the result that we needed, but the problems are still going to be there because of the way he plays his team, the system he plays. He doesn't have the midfield quality that he needs to play his system.
Can I ask you in regards to...
And those problems are going to continue. They're going to continue.
Can I ask you something? Lastly, sorry.
Okay, perfect.
Last thing I wanted to ask you in regards to the game, obviously. What is it with Amorim that he doesn't see with Kobe?
That I don't know. That's a question that I feel like a lot of Man United fans want the answer to. I honestly, I could not tell you, bro. Like, to have a player of that quality and you can't fit him into your system, that's a red flag for me. That's a big problem, you know? And that's the one area or the one issue that it makes me look at Amorim a bit sideways, because I'm like, what's the issue here? Because you play Ugarte all the time. You're playing Casemiro, an aging Casemiro. Yeah, you're playing Bruno slightly out, like not in his best position. Yeah, but you can't fit Mainu into this.
Because you know the one thing is, he's the odd one out, which I find very weird to say as a Man United manager. You could stem back like the last 5 managers or last 4 managers, whether it's Eric, whether it's Oli, whether it's Jose, whether it's LVG. Yeah. Regardless, if you did not like their football, they were bad for your club or whatever it is. The one thing they did do is they developed young talent, whether it's Rashford with Van Gaal, whether it's Oli and Greenwood and whatever situation it is, whether it's Eric Ten Hag and Garnacho and Kobe. It's like, the one thing at least they know what to do is keep the football where the DNA is, where we're bringing up players that are from the academy or from the club and we're making them better into pillars of Manchester United. Yeah. But with him going away from it, because like you said, if you look at Man United's team, the keepers are signing, the right backs are signing, the left backs are signing, the midfield are signing. Every position, there's not one player where you look at and go, Amorim, you've developed.
I think Euro he has. I think Euro might be the only one where I feel like he's definitely.
I think Euro's more to do
with his own quality.
Yeah, I think he has the talent to do it. He just needed a repetition.
But I know what you're saying, but I also feel like, to be fair to Amorim also, I don't think the climate is right now. I think right now for any young player going into that Man United team, it's a graveyard right now. So I think you're playing a huge risk by putting any young player in that under that pressure. Not to say you shouldn't do it, but I'm saying right now in this climate, I could understand.
I don't agree with it.
No, I'm just saying that could be this. That could be the reason. But I do hear where you're coming from.
Shall I tell you the reason I don't say that? Because the last thing I want to say in regards to that, the only reason I don't agree is because he's played in the biggest game that he can think of, which is the Euro final. Yeah. So that pressure of delivering and stuff like that.
Not for Mainu. I'm not talking about for Mainu.
I'm talking about Mainu.
But no, not for Mainu. For Mainu, I completely disagree. Okay. I think he should be integrated.
Okay, cool, yeah. Cool,
but I'm just saying other young players.
No, forget the young, like the Heavens and these are like, but for me, Harry, I must say, like, forget about that. I'm talking about the players who currently got.
Yeah, but for me, I'm just going to quickly wrap it up with Amorim. For me, obviously, like, yes, I've said what I've said previously about Amorim. I still feel that sense anyway, in terms of him being good. And the only reason, it's not that I dislike him, it's not that I have anything against him. I just feel like if you're going to be stubborn, which he's come out in the press and said he's going to stick to his play, and we know that the problems are glaring in our faces, then I feel like unless yesterday's result was the spark or something, and then now we start to see, a consistent pattern of good performances, then I would love for him to prove me wrong. I would love that, bro. Like, I would love for him to prove me wrong and show everyone that he had a plan this whole time and that we are in the right trajectory. But I do find it hard to see that. Even with yesterday, I still saw glimpses of the problems, and I still see that. But me saying, obviously, I will never take away anything I said in terms of Amram previously, in terms of giving him this season. I'll always stand by that, because God forbid I say give a manager a summer, let him get rid of players, let him bring a player so that we can assess them properly. I'll always stand by that. Even if the next manager comes in, I'll still say that.
100%.
You know, I saw on SDS as well with the boys, they were saying that obviously it's a bad pattern of basically sacking managers and then hiring a new manager and they're saying the season's right off. But when have we ever done that since Fergie's gone? The only manager we've ever hired mid-season full time was Ruben Amorim. Ten Hag got a summer. Starting in the summer. Mourinho starting in the summer. Van Gaal starting in the summer. David Moyes starting in the summer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was interim, then got the job in the summer. Everyone's starting in the summer. Amorim was the only one that's ever, since Fergie's gone, that's come in November. And of course, I'm going to say, yes, the season's going to be a write-off. Give him the summer. Let him get rid of players. Let him bring in players. And then we'll see. But obviously, so far, he's failed. In that 5 games that he's had so far, he failed. But yesterday, for me, it's almost like a lifeline. It's like, yesterday I went to the stadium, I carried out my audit, did my inspection, and for me it's like the probation's been extended. I'll give you that extra time. Now let's do the next 5 games and see how it goes, and then we'll make a judgment.
You know, my last thing in regards to Amorim that I wanted to wrap up with, there's one thing I wanted to say in regards to him. It's the best scenario for Man United and Arsenal. For Man United, sorry. The best scenario for Man United is him have that run of games where he kind of changes it, and then you get rid of him. So you've built the...
You're saying, drop him like that?
Yeah, because that's the only way...
That's crazy.
That's the only way it works. Because you don't want it to be a failure thing.
Yeah.
You know how, like, say for example...
That's impossible. That will never happen.
But you know, like Van Gaal, the back in the season, he wasn't too bad. Won the cup.
Yeah.
Got rid of him.
Yeah,
but I'll do the same thing with that.
I don't think that would happen.
But I know that's my solution. But go on then.
But anyway, we're gonna have to wrap up the video.
Pleasure having you on as well.
No, bro. Pleasure having you on. I felt like it was a good conversation about a lot of things. I feel like we both
delved into everything.
Got a lot off our chest still. But I appreciate you coming on. And obviously, you'll find Starplayer's socials in the description as well. Of course, another member of SDS, so you'll also find him on there. And until next time, peace.